He starts to walk off slightly, and then the pyro goes off behind him, and then he goes, whoa. I imagine it's good. I don't really know. I'm not into
country. America's massively into country, man. Like,
yeah. It's a good song, I think.
I mean, they brought it back last year.
Absolutely.
It's gonna be alright, man.
It's gonna be okay.
Hello and a very warm welcome back to the Gimme Wrestling Podcast. My name is Dom and this is Anthony. And we are your hosts for this evening, or depending on where you are in the world, morning, afternoon, brunch, lunch, siesta. Wherever you're at in the day, we're here to accompany you. We appreciate your time, effort, and energy. Whether there are 3 people watching, whether there are 300 people watching, whether there are 3,000.5 people watching, we love you and appreciate.
That's really belittling. You've just said that one of our audience members only counts for half a person. 3,000.5.
You don't know.
So who's the 0.5?
Are you assuming someone's?
You're doing the 0.5. Don't try and back out of it now. Explain yourself, Dom.
You're assuming that a 0.5 of a person can't exist.
Well, it can't exist. Oh no, it can exist, I suppose, if you have half a. So
whoever you are, whatever your gender, sexual preference, ability. Whatever you're into, whatever you hate, whatever you love. I'm Dom.
And I'm Anne, and welcome to the podcast. Today we are looking at In Your House 2 from July 23rd, 1985.
Unfortunately.
No, I quite enjoy this.
I like one match.
Yes, it's a really good match, and it really brings up the pay-per-view. It's much better than the King of the Ring.
We also get the debut of one of WWE's most enduring characters. Well, actually not in this character form, but...
do we?
Indeed. There are many, many things about this pay-per-view to
Do we?
enjoy.
Who do we get?
Carry on.
Okay, excellent. I can't wait to see who we get. I think you're talking about one of the people in the lumberjack match.
It's coming up.
Cool. So it's in Nashville, Tennessee, and it has a very Western feel to it, with Vince McMahon and Jerry the King Lawler on commentary in Western outfits. If you are enjoying the podcast, it really helps us out if you hit that thumbs up, and if you share it across your friends, and join us on social media. We have Facebook, Twitter.
Give us a like, comment and subscribe.
That'd be
awesome. Us on Redbubble.
And if you hit that bell button, it tells you when the next episode's coming out. That's really cool, isn't it? I never knew that.
Nice.
Yeah, nice.
The interwebs.
UK number 1 film at the time was Apollo 13. King of the Ring was a bit like Apollo 13.
Did you like Apollo 13?
What, the film? Yeah, it's alright. I didn't like King of the Ring. But at the end of Apollo 13, it crashed. Just like King of the Ring. UK number 1 song was still the Out Here Brothers with Boom Boom Boom. Wayo.
No, you got it wrong.
Go on.
It's Let Me Hear You Say Wayo.
And then boom boom boom.
And let me hear you say wayo. Wayo.
Starts off with Jeff Jarrett. Speaking of musicals, Jeff Jarrett singing the In Your House theme tune over a video of Nashville as well as current WWF superstars. Yeah, an amazing use of your superstars there to get them to do the... So his gimmick is all about the singer. You know, he's a wrestler who's a singer. Yeah. And they're using his talents, although they're not actually using his, they're using another person's, but we'll talk about that in a bit.
Indeed.
That
was
great.
Clever. That was clever.
Yeah, it's clever.
I enjoyed that a lot.
The Roadie versus the 1-2-3 Kid is the first match. The 1-2-3 Kid attacks him as he enters up the ramp. 1-2-3 Kid, man. He's really good. He's really good.
They've got some heat.
His kicks are so sharp, and he gets great height to him as well.
He's amazing. Well, again, one of my favourites of all time.
He's really good.
Absolutely, without question.
I don't think he's my favourite of all time, but I think he's severely underrated.
Due to our previous conversation, he is one of my favourites of all time.
Yeah.
And you see the best... You see the best of him in this time, except for the fact he is never used in a main event capacity.
I don't know if he would have been.
No. It's actually Bret Hart was always campaigning backstage.
Right.
And in his book, Bret Hart, because I had that as a kid. As a young adult, I reread it as well. And in interviews, Bret Hart would regularly say that he was 1-2-3 Kid was one of the people he would have liked to have faced in a main event capacity.
That's awesome, but I don't think the company could have. I don't think they would have. I don't think it would have worked in this era.
Yeah, now it would have worked.
It would work. You have smaller guys, you have Finn Balor and stuff like that, who are real main event contenders. But in this era,
I understand,
against people like Psycho Sid and Diesel and the big guys, I just don't think it would have worked as well. He dives over the top rope onto Roadie's onto the Roadie with a back heel kick. Mm-hmm. Again, like diving over the top rope, and the way he connects with it is so sharp. Yeah. Really nice, amazing accuracy.
The chemistry, like I said, I've got a lot of time for Roadie in this era, even though you're not a huge fan.
No.
But I have even more time for 1, 2, 3 Kid, and it's just a shame that he was never pushed. His biggest push in this time frame was his eventual feud with Razor Ramon. And obviously in later it was odd because I preferred the 1, 2, 3 Kid gimmick. Obviously you could only carry it to a certain, you could only carry it to a certain level, even though Shawn Mormon is still wrestling as the 1, 2, 3 Kid now in independent circuits.
Yeah.
But you could push that realistically to a certain point, and X-Pac had a lot more success. And
he's still very talented, Shawn Mormon. If you go and watch his matches, he's still doing good work.
Have you seen him recently?
I have.
Really?
Yeah. He's on a YouTube video.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh wow, interesting.
Yeah, check it out, man. He's still good. He's a talented guy. You know, he really loves the wrestling industry.
Yeah. Would you? Because obviously you've had in various points, not necessarily Scott Hall, but you've had wrestlers come back. Would you bring him back now? I mean, not as a full-time competitor, but
no. I don't think he's a big enough name to do the draw, which is what I think you sort of need now. So someone like Shawn Michaels can still do it, and Undertaker can still do it. I don't think Shawn Mormon is a big enough draw, ultimately.
I understand your point.
I mean, his talent is.
I understand your point of view, yeah.
And them guys, I'm not saying that Undertaker and Shawn Michaels can still go at it like they did 10 years ago.
We'll find out. We will find
out. Or we would have found out last week when this video comes out. We see a shot of Jarrett backstage, who isn't interested in watching the match. He's more interested in warming up for his song later on. The Roadie did okay here. He's able to throw the 1, 2, 3 Kid around, which I think was better than most of his other matches. He had the strength over the 1, 2, 3 Kid, and it's certainly more believable than when he's against someone like Razor Ramon, I'd say. We go back to Jarrett, who's talking to his backing singers. Again, not interested in the match, but I don't think there was any need to go back to it a second time. We got that from the first sort of thing, so why do we need to do it again? The Roadie misses a splash, and the Kid takes advantage, delivering a backwards kick, which looked like it took his head off. It looked great. Then the end, the end of the match. The Kid is sat on top of the turnbuckle. The Roadie meets him on the second turnbuckle and delivers a pile driver off the second turnbuckle. It looks, as the Roadie's sort of landing, he puts his leg out to sort of catch himself and stumbles back. I mean, it looks devastating. Yeah. I mean, he obviously gets the pin, but no, man.
I didn't see. I just thought it looked cool back in the day, but obviously,
No, it doesn't look cool. It looks like it could kill someone.
Well, but like back in the day, I was like, this is cool. But
no, dangerous, man. Yeah. Way too dangerous. Didn't like watching it. Could have killed Wantman here. Don't like it. But I really get a lot more respect for Shawn Wantman from rewatching these pay-per-views, which I think you always respected him, didn't you? So.
Yeah, absolutely.
The Roadie heads straight onto the stage after his win to set up for Jeff Jarrett's performance. Mike Jack, ultimate professional, Road Dogg, carrying on his Roadie gimmick as long as he can. The $1 Million Corporation are all backstage, telling the fact that they'll all be lumberjacks for the final match. And in the Diesel's dressing room, all the faces are supporting Diesels as they try to sell a really badly designed In Your House t-shirt that was Diesel, and it's like it was just rubbish. Next match we have Men on a Mission. King Mabel and Sir Mo versus Razor Ramon and Savio Vega. Nice to see Mo back in the ring, actually. I think Mo's really underrated.
Yeah, definitely.
He's a decent worker. He obviously takes all the bumps until Mabel gets in at the start of the match. Mabel does a pump handle slam on Vega, which plants him down with a thud, which I enjoyed. I like Mo. I really like Mo, but the problem is the crowd have no interest in seeing him attack anyone. Yeah. So when he's attacking, is it Vega? Yeah. It doesn't work. It don't work. That's the problem.
The crowd don't have the interest, but
no, they want to see the spectacle that is Mabel.
From an analytical point of view, we can look at it and be like, he was a good performer from an outside perspective. But I understand also, from the fans' point of view, why they wouldn't get it.
Absolutely. Mabel and Mo dominated for a while, but it's a little slow, even with multiple tags. Mo eventually misses a moonsault to give Vega the hot tag. Razor, as a fresh man, goes in with all the energy, and Mo sells awesomely for him. Razor backdrop kicks Mo off the top rope, which looks great. Oh, excuse me. And although he calls for the Razor's Edge, he doesn't get it. Mabel gets a tag and goes to the top rope, but Razor throws him off. An impressive sight to see Mabel going off. He did that clever thing where he'd climb up the rope on the outside, and he'd have one foot on the second rope, one foot on the top rope to give him the stability he needed and he did well at that. He did good. Mabel eventually gets Razor in the corner for an avalanche and a belly-to-belly to get the win. I enjoyed the end of the match. I thought the action at the end of the match was great. I think the middle was a little boring. And not Mo's fault. It just didn't have the same...
Yeah, it didn't,
No.
Didn't click as much.
But he really picked up towards the end of the match, and I was quite impressed by the end of the match, actually. An interview with the face lumberjack teams with Doc Hendrick, who says that there's been rumours that one of them's been bought out by DiBiase. Of course, they all deny it. It's worth pointing out that the Man Mountain Rock is one of the faces here.
Yeah,
is that the debut he was on about?
Yeah. So Man Mountain Rock, with the hippie stuff.
I mean, you look like Meatloaf with a tie-dye t-shirt on.
Again, just for memory's sake, you're going to remember him. You remember.
I don't know him at all. I know he was in.
But then I also remember Aldo Montoya, so that just says a bit more about me.
He was Max Payne, wasn't he, in WCW? For a brief period as well.
Man Rock, I tell you.
There's questions of whether Bam Bam has been brought back. All of this sort of story makes sense with the Lumberjacks, but actually in the match nothing actually comes from it. So a bit weird that they're going down this route. It probably would have made sense to have had something. Problem with the Lumberjack match, but we'll talk about it later on, I suppose, when we get to the Lumberjack match. For now, we have one of the main talking points of the night, I think. A Jeff Jarrett musical performance. It's live. I say live, it's mimed, because it's not even Jeff Jarrett that sings it. For those that don't know, I think we've referred to it a few times in previous podcasts. It's the Road Dogg who actually sings it, because Roadie's got great vocals.
And it is great. This is one of the highlights of this period of time.
Yeah, it's great.
On a whole, the last few years was this build into a gimmick.
Yeah.
It was very cleverly written.
It was. And Jeff Jarrett goes out there and mimes this song, but he mimes it really seriously. And is it a good song?
Be my baby tonight.
It's not a good song, but I'm not into country. But it's I imagine it's good. I don't really know. I'm not into
country. America's massively into country, man.
Yeah. It's a good song, I think.
I mean, they brought it back just last year.
Absolutely. So during the Hall of Fame speech for Jeff Jarrett, Road Dogg came out and sang with Jeff Jarrett, who clearly didn't know the words and clearly couldn't sing. It was a really messy, awkward moment, man, as I was walking around the crowd singing the same chorus because I couldn't remember any of the rest of it. I think it's good. So this was eventually going to end up in a Roadie and Jeff Jarrett feud, but both left the company before this could actually happen, which is really, really sad because it would have been great. The idea that the Roadie, because he actually goes off stage during this performance and you don't see him, so the idea was he was singing while Jeff was miming. Obviously the one it was just all pre-recorded, but in terms of storyline, that's fine. The Roadie introduces him and he starts off by announcing before he even sings that he's going to win the Intercontinental Championship later on, so bringing it back to the wrestling. Yeah, good. It's fun, catchy, I like it. The production of it was certainly really well done. I think the only problem I have with it is a bit like Aiden English, right? Another guy with a singing gimme, right? Aiden English has got a really good voice.
He's amazing.
When he goes out and sings, as I'm talking before the sort of Rusev Day thing, you can't really boo it because you're like, actually, that's really good.
He's really good.
And same with Jarrett, you can't really boo it.
Yeah, but there's only so long you can take it. And this is the thing with Aiden English now, who's just a side note quickly, and the Roadie at this point, to be fair to Jarrett and Roadie and equally to Aiden English and Rusev, and that similar, because I guess there's similarities there slightly. Slightly.
Yeah.
Is that what you're going to do with Aiden English now? Because Rusev just beat him.
Aiden
and what would you do? And what would you do?
Roadie went on and was fine.
Well, yeah, but what would you... If they'd have had that Jarrett Roadie feud, Jarrett would have come out on top.
No, I don't think he would have. I think Roadie would have come out on top.
Interesting.
Yeah, I think he would have. Yeah.
Aiden's not going to be fine.
Aiden's will be fine. Because he's married to Eddie Guerrero's sister, and Vince McMahon said he'll always look after the Guerreros. That's why he was fine when the Vaudevillains broke up, and we didn't expect anything from Aiden English. And guess what? Eddie
Guerrero's daughter was employed by the WWE, is not anymore.
Oh, right, okay, cool. No, but I think Aiden English would be fine, but I think Roadie would have been fine, and obviously he went on to massive things in the future. The pay-per-view shouldn't have been called In Your House 2. So at this point, it's still like In Your House 1, In Your House 2, In Your House 3, In Your House 4. Later on, it becomes In Your House Bad Blood, In Your House Degeneration X, blah, blah, blah. This should have been In Your House Alone with My Baby Tonight. I mean, it sounds a bit like a Blue movie, but it would have worked, man. I mean, it's great, and it's good. So Todd the Mullet has gone Pettingale, interviews the audience, who generally say positive things about Jeff Jarrett. Did you like my introduction? Yes, he's lost his mullet.
Oh, Todd.
Oh,
What's Todd Pettingale doing now?
No idea.
Research.
Probably selling houses somewhere, I bet.
Todd.
Or giving them away on TV.
Pettingale.
Next match we have Bam Bam Bigelow versus Henry O. Godwin. He comes down with his bucket of slop. During Bam Bam's entrance, he jumps up. Bam Bam jumps up in the air, does this whole thing. Go on.
No, he was replaced by Michael Cole. He hasn't been seen since, except for 2013 when Pettingale hosted segments of the WWE DVD release, The Best of In Your House.
Very good.
A compilation called Alone in Your House Tonight. It wasn't called that.
So Bam Bam comes in and he sort of does this like jump where he puts his arms out, and I was like, oh, cool. And then he does it again, and I was like, what the devil is he doing? He's just sort of jumping and going like that. He starts to walk off slightly, and then the pyro goes off behind him, and then he goes, whoa. I'm like, yes, I missed the pyro cue there. The match is really slow. The two don't have any chemistry whatsoever, and no one in the audience seems to care. Half the match is a headlock sort of stuff. After Bam Bam misses a diving headbutt, Godwin goes to the top and does a really weak knee drop.
Yeah,
which
and he
misses.
actually gets an injury from that, doesn't he?
Did he actually get injured?
Legit.
Right.
Legit. That
it was
injury,
weird, man.
Yeah.
It was weird.
There was a rush finish because they obviously weren't expecting that. So,
right, and then Bam Bam gets the pin.
Yeah.
It was rubbish. Oh, right, is that why then?
Yeah, so Godwin has an injury there.
I didn't know that, man. So Henry O. Goodwin gets his bucket of salt, which hasn't been used, but again, I'm guessing that would have been used had the injury not happened and caused it. Well, that's fair enough then. If the injuries happen, you need to get them off as soon as possible. We see Backlund talking to an audience member about voting, which means absolutely nothing in the pay-per-view whatsoever. But let's move on. Next match, Shawn Michaels versus Jeff Jarrett.
HBK versus Double J.
Man, that's HBKJJ. Whoa. For the Intercontinental Championship. You see this match and you think, okay, cool.
Two classic Intercontinental champions, actually.
Absolutely for the Intercontinental Championship.
People synonymous with the belt.
And this is one of the best Intercontinental matches that we've seen.
Of this time.
Yeah, absolutely.
Which, coming in this period, is quite something.
Absolutely. It's shocking, actually, how good this match is. Like, I was saying to Dom, I watched two pay-per-views, this and the King of the Ring together, and it's a lot of garbage. And this pay-per-view already picks it up. I mean, the 1, 2, 3 kid match was good. The Jeff Jarrett stuff was good. This match is not just good, it's great. It's really great. So let's go through the match a little bit, because I was excited to finally write something positive. Backstage interview with Shawn Michaels. He can't knock Double J for doing what he said he was going to do, which was to go out and sing. But tonight he's going to take the Intercontinental Championship off him. A great point in this interview is where Shawn Michaels slips up on WWF. He sort of goes, WWF or something. And then he says, WWF, is that what we're still called around here? And Todd the Mullet has gone Pettingale, improvises with, yes, it's not the JJF, which I thought was great. I mean, really clever.
Very quick.
Very quick. But then he looks real proud of himself afterwards. I was like, no, wipe that smirk off your face, because Mean Gene would have just carried on.
Mean
Gene wouldn't have sold himself at this point and his greatness. The only slip up of Mean Gene is where that sign falls down. Yeah, that's great. That's great. Roadie comes out before JJ and grabs the mic, bigs up JJ, who comes out with his flashing outfit. Looks great. Michaels grabs the title early
Chris
on.
Jericho, though, is it?
It's no, but it's the early Chris Jericho. Yeah. Michaels grabs the titles early on and checks his reflection in the mirror of the title and blows himself a kiss. I mean, that's so arrogant. But it
works in context,
yeah. And especially with his music. I noticed that his music seems to be cranked right up tonight. And it is a great tune, isn't it?
It's great for mood. It's just great for mood.
Great. When you hear that song, you know that you're going to see greatness.
Yeah.
And greatness. Yeah, we see that sort of arrogant face more these days with people like the Velveteen Dream, who could easily be face or heel in certain situations, and other talents as well. But we don't see it a lot back then, and I think it was really sort of big for Shawn to be able to carry that off.
Huge.
Even though he's looking a bit more rugged, he didn't look as pristine.
I quite like his ruggedness.
Do you? Do you like a rugged Shawn Michaels?
I love a rugged Shawn Michaels.
Would you receive a rugged Shawn Michaels Sweet Chin Music, baby? Or No Chin Music?
Probably would. I'd love to receive a Sweet Chin Music just to say I've received it.
Would you?
Yeah.
Good.
Probably. You look a bit like a rugged Shawn Michaels. You got the beard.
Yeah.
I think Shawn from one.
No, his is lighter than that.
He has like a slightly more trimmed.
Yeah. Probably a lot of drugs. Probably.
What, you or Shawn Michaels?
Shawn Michaels. Yeah. At this time, I'm imagining this was the heavy drug time.
Probably.
Yeah. So we've got two guys here who are amazing storytellers. I know you've never been a massive fan of JJ, but you can't deny he can tell a story in the same way that Lawler can tell. Humility.
Two great storytellers for sure.
Yeah,
absolutely.
For example, early on, Michaels taunts JJ on the ropes by laying across the ropes. When JJ gets Michaels out, he does the same taunt.
Yeah, it's very
clever, man. Very clever. I mean, good stuff. Good in-ring psychology here. Another great spot, for example, is where Michaels sends JJ out of the ring with a clothesline. Michaels goes over with him, but catches himself and does the backward flip again. The same thing that we've seen at the Rumble, the same thing that we've seen at the King of the Ring.
Yeah.
Different this time because he sent someone over with him.
It's nice, isn't
it? But great. Really good. Really, really awesome stuff. Oh, and then he gets in the ring, and how does he celebrate? He does a JJ strut. Great stuff. Great in-ring storytelling.
Vintage Michaels.
It's great. JJ beats a 10 count at 9 when he rolls into the ring. He debates leaving the match at this point. He rolls into the ring and then rolls back out again, going, I'm cleverer than Michaels because I know how to play the game. Really good stuff. He does it again. Michaels eventually ends up chasing him. Even when Roadie gets involved in the match, it works as Michaels avoids him on the apron with a poke to the eye before sending Jarrett over the rope to connect with him. We see Michaels deliver a sunset flip, although he can't get Jarrett down. And this is like such a small moment, and it's great. Jarrett goes to punch him in the face, but Michaels so quickly moves out of the way. And stuff like this is done throughout the match. And the thing is, when a move like that happens normally with a guy like Diesel, let's use Diesel for an example. When a move like that happens, they do all this showboating afterwards about it, about this big moment. Michaels and Jarrett don't, right? They do it at the right times, and then when something like this, which is actually a really nice, intricate little bit of storytelling, they're straight on with the next
definitely
piece.
Students of the game. Absolutely
great! It's a great match. JJ gets Michaels in an abdominal stretch. Right, so it's a rest hold, but it works. It's exciting. The crowd are behind it. Jeff Jarrett is using the Roadie as leverage from behind. Yeah. The ref goes up to him and kicks Jeff Jarrett in the Roadie's hands, which the Roadie sells as the most devastating hand kick by Earl Ebner, that vicious referee. And it's good. It's a great match. Each man meeting each other with great speed.
In history, they're all very good. These people are very good at selling, very good at ring
when they're
strategy.
In a sleeper hold, they care.
Ring strategy, they make it. They make it something.
It's great. Michaels delivers a quick succession of moves, elbow drops, axe handles, atomic drops, but still can't get the pin on JJ. We get a ref bump as Michaels starts to tune up the band, but the Roadie attacks from behind. The Roadie ends up accidentally tripping up JJ, and Michaels gets a super kick for the win. It's an incredible match.
Very well done.
If you haven't seen it, I really recommend going to watch it.
The one match I would say definitely go back to watch is this one.
For many of this
I think we can already answer you know, at the end what we do is we come up with you know, best performers and best matches.
Yeah.
I could have given it to either one of these people, and that's big for me to say about JJ because I'm just not a huge fan. But both of these people could have been the performer of the night, and this was. I
look forward to seeing which one it's going to be.
This was definitely our match of the night, or my match of the
night.
Oh,
easily. It's a great match, and Shawn Michaels kisses a woman at ringside. I didn't know who. I'm guessing that was his girlfriend at the time. Such a good match, such a great match. Go back and watch it. The match woke me up and made me excited to be watching and doing this podcast again, really, as I'm sure it did you. Anything else to add to the match? I feel like because I remember watching this, and I remember just being, you know, I always wanted. It would have been very difficult for me, but I always wanted to do a Sweet Chin Music. You know, after watching, particularly, you know, like these go down really well. These Sweet Chin Musics are just very poignant. He knows how to just. Out of nowhere, not quite to the level of Dolph Ziggler, but still. Yeah, not quite to the level of Rikishi. As if you've ruined this great match with a reference to Dolph Ziggler. Continue.
But just it made watching this made me want to do a Sweet Chin. You know, made me want to learn how to do a super kick somehow. Do you know what I mean? Like,
it's great.
Very poignant.
It's great.
He like the way I'm looking. The one reason I'm looking forward to seeing Shawn Michaels in present day 2018 come back to the ring is to see a Sweet Chin Music.
Yeah. Shawn Michaels versus AJ Styles. I think that'll be an awesome WrestleMania match, man. It's a great match. Go back and watch it. Michaels celebrates backstage while someone sells his T-shirt, which came with heart glasses. Love heart-shaped glasses.
I love those.
Yeah, man. I've got some Marilyn Manson love heart-shaped glasses.
Really?
Yeah, from the Don't Break My Heart thing.
Yeah, I remember.
Yeah. What was that song called?
Heart-shaped glasses.
Heart-shaped glasses, that's what it's called.
Don't break my heart.
And I won't break your heart-shaped glasses. Next up, Doc Hendricks. This is fantastic promo.
God.
Like he's
so good.
Backstage, he's saying that he's seen Roadie and Double J arguing backstage, but he's really energetic about it. Yeah. I've just seen Roadie and I'm trying. It's great. It really brings up the energy.
He's
good job.
He's good at building the energy.
Good to see him back, man. Owen Hart and Yokozuna with Cornette and Fuji versus the Allied Powers.
We've
British
seen this,
Bulldog and Lex Luger.
We've seen this before, and a lot of it plays out
similarly. There's a couple of differences in this match,
but this brings it right back down for me.
Oh, really?
And that
I thought it was okay.
And that unfortunately means, you know, because I'm usually a huge fan of the Bulldog, but because I've seen this before, I immediately tire of it, I think.
Okay, cool.
I kind of rate it off before I rewatched it, you know?
Yeah. I liked how Luger's and Bulldog trunks were very similar in the design.
Yes.
So they had stripes on the sides, like white and red stripes on the side, and then in the V, which would be where the magic happens. British Bulldog has a Union Jack and Luger has the Stars and Stripes, but that was quite clever design. I mean, if you look at British Bulldog Junior's pants in World of Sport, where it was like that awful Canada flag that were just rubbish. These look grand, don't they?
The colour schemes.
Yeah, purple with a Canadian flag.
I think the worst I've ever seen.
No, but these are really well designed, and I think it's like, it's interesting to look at stuff like that. Luger and Yokozuna start in the ring. We're reminded of the slam on the Intrepid. Obviously, these two were at one point main eventers. Luger punches Yoko as he falls to a sitting position on the turnbuckle. Owen's foot gets trapped under him, because obviously he's his tag partner, and he limps off the apron. He then gets in to confront Yokozuna about that, giving him a push. Yokozuna pushes back Owen, and that's what I quite like about this match, the different intention between these two. It actually feels like they're going to lose because of that tension. He gets in to confront Yokozuna, and Yokozuna pushes him up. And the trouble in the tag team, Cornette jumps on the apron. Cornette did a great job. He was there, like, trying to talk them both down, basically. And I thought he did. He comes off it, and he's like, "Oh man, I can't believe how close that was." Really enjoyed that. Cornette's good at stuff like that. Really good. Owen and Bulldog have a nice section in the ring, with Bulldog flipping him high in the air and Owen taking all the bumps. An enziguri from Owen Hart to Bulldog ends up sending him flipping over his head. It looked brilliant.
Yep.
Really good. Puga comes in. Is this point where it gets a bit...
Yep.
Yeah. He comes in to take on both Owen and Yoko. It does get a bit punchy. Tedious. And but there's a cool bit where he holds Owen above his head for his slam, but instead of slamming him, throws him onto Yokozuna. Again, that sort of trouble in tag team with the champions is clever. Luger and Bulldog do a double back drop to lift Yoko off his feet. Again, looks impressive. Anytime you get Yoko off his feet,
obviously Yoko was about to help him, but just really well done.
But Owen breaks the pin up before Yokozuna delivers a leg drop to Luger for the pin. I quite enjoyed this as a tag match. I think we've had quite a few boring tag matches.
We tend to slate Luger's work quite a lot, in fact, all the time.
Yeah, understandably.
And it's not this again. I wasn't exactly excited massively with this match, but again, the spots you pick out, they do have some weight, no pun intended.
Yeah, but it's also storytelling as well. That sort of idea of this tag team in turmoil potentially,
and obviously
and them using it against them as well.
We're coming up in the next few years. We're coming up to the first time we'll see Yokozuna very briefly as a face, and I think that it's a nice little teaser for those kind of things to happen.
Yeah. I just thought it was a cut above a lot of the stuff that's happening in this era anyway. And I thought because this is the first time we've seen the Allied Powers together, isn't it? And on a pay-per-view. I think it is. Or was it WrestleMania 11?
No, we saw them before.
Or was it the opening match of WrestleMania 11? We've seen this match
before. We've seen this match.
Oh, have we? I thought that they really sold them as a competitive tag team right now. So, yeah, much more than the Smoking Guns, who we tend to get a lot of against Yoko and Owen, don't we? Next up, we have Diesel versus Psycho Sid with DiBiase. This is a lumberjack match for the WWF World Heavyweight Championship. We'll talk a little bit about lumberjack matches at the end of the match.
Yeah, I mean, my thought is they're massively overrated, and I feel chaotic and kind
chaotic
of silly.
Is the word.
Kind of silly. I don't ever see the point in them really.
Do you prefer this match, or do you prefer the In Your House 1 match with Sid and Diesel at it by themselves? See, I think I prefer this one.
Yeah, I suppose it makes it a little bit more interesting.
I think that's the thing. I mean, these two, I really wasn't impressed with.
It's the interest, isn't it? It's the
interest. There's a slightly different dynamic to it.
I see what you mean.
That's more than just punches and kicks and clotheslines. Yeah. All the lumberjacks come down. We see our first shot of Hunter Hearst Helmsley. Is that who he was on about? Yes, it was. First match in the next pay-per-view. So the next pay-per-view, we will be doing our debut rundown on Hunter Hearst Helmsley. And I think that's also the pay-per-view with Isaac Yankem.
Indeed. DDS
Isaac Yankem. So who later becomes Kane. So if you are enjoying the podcast, like I say, any subscribes really help us out, and it'll let you know about the next one, dude.
Also, he is fake Diesel.
Yes, Isaac Yankem does become fake Diesel. Glenn Jacobs does become fake Diesel. And also the mayor of wherever he is.
I'm pretty sure that's not a gimmick, although it'd be pretty funny if it was.
If it was a gimmick, yeah. Just WWF lying to us. Diesel's and Michaels come...
Kane, just like
Diesel and Michaels come down, and they really seem to be enjoying themselves, actually. It was good to see the sort of fun that the two are having. Obviously, they were great friends in real life, part of the clique. Obviously, we're getting a new member of the clique coming in with Hunter Hearst Helmsley as well, which is cool to see. Can't wait to start watching it. There's some really good guys coming up in the next few pay-per-views. We were talking a bit about King of the Ring in the last episode that we filmed that was King of the Ring, so we talked a lot about the King of the Ring. One of the things that we failed to mention is the next King of the Ring is the 96 King of the Ring that Stone Cold Steve Austin wins, and it's awesome.
I'm more excited because of the return of Jake the Snake and all that stuff.
Yeah. It'd be nice to go back and watch and see how we feel about it now. So please subscribe to the channel, and all that content is coming to you, and we're trying to get these done as regularly as we possibly can. They establish early on that when the men go out to the ring, the men in the outside will send them back in. So Sid goes to the outside of the faces, and they sort of politely pick him up and throw him back in. Depending on where the four they might meet friends or foes. So Sid goes out the ring on the foe side, heel side, and they're all, oh, you're okay.
It's going to be all right, man.
It's going to be okay. When Nash goes over, all the heels attack him. We see Michaels. Michaels is clever. So all the heels are attacking Kevin Nash, and Michaels makes a point to jump over everyone onto the heels. And it's not about his move having any sort of power or anything. It's about the fact that you see him going to his friend's aid, and he gets himself in shot, not just for the live audience, because it would have been for the live audience as well, because he gets a pop, but also for the camera. It very clever, man. He knows exactly what he's doing.
Yeah, an amazing performance.
Similar to the first In Your House match, though, the actual match when they're in the ring is a lot of punches and kicks. The men on the outside vary the action a little bit, but it does lead to some really weird moments, like when Kevin Nash vaults over the top rope to attack the heel faction for absolutely no reason. Sid does it later on in the match. They're winning the match and then they just go and attack the heels. It makes no sense. But then there's a nice spot between Diesel and Mo where Mo gets him out, Mabel and Mo get him out, and they sort of have a little thing with Diesel, Mabel and Mo all together where Mabel sort of destroys Diesel for a bit.
Kind of continues the view.
That's how works nice. Better.
That's nice when they do that, yeah.
Yeah, when it's like two people, when it's everyone just laying in punches and kicks and you've got the Blue Brothers there, you know what I mean? Who cares?
What you're doing.
Yeah. Sid eventually gets a powerbomb in the centre ring, but again, Sid randomly attacks the faces with no justification,
He's very good at this whole, I mean... When Braun does it, at least people are like, destroyed and never going to get back up, and he's gone for the pin. Yeah, and he hits the 1, 2, 3. Psycho Sid does all this raw stuff, and it's like, dude, you know you won the match yet? Just get back on it.
And he does this sort of a lot of sneering and stuff like that, which is good character work, but it doesn't, for me, make a very entertaining match. Is a problem. Diesel eventually wins with a big boot. Diesel wants at Mabel. It was okay. I wouldn't associate lumberjacks with main events, is the first thing that I'd say.
No.
But in terms of this time period, and if you're going to continue with Diesel and Sid going at it, it sort of makes a bit of sense.
Yeah.
I'd never say that about... But can you imagine saying that about a lumberjack match these days?
Yeah, no.
Can you imagine if, SummerSlam was headlined by a lumberjack match? It'd be weird, wouldn't it?
And I think they know that. They know that. It has a place on a Raw.
Well, the other thing we've got to remember is this isn't In Your House. This is a sub pay-per-view to the Big Four as well. And I actually think I prefer this match to the original In Your House one.
Cool.
So, yeah.
Cool.
We leave the programme with highlights of the event, all done to the Double J In Your House song. Again, great use of the Superstar. Best match?
Michaels.
Jeff Jarrett and Michaels, it's great. It's one of the best ones we've seen for a while.
Just because I seem to be on a roll with it's just probably, with exception to Dolph Ziggler, who probably can do it better. Michaels is probably my favorite performer of all time, and he just consistently, even though he's obviously an arrogant person, he is just, his work is exceptional. I'm
going to give it to JJ in this instance, and I'll tell you the reason why. Not just for the match, he also had that wonderful section where he sings a song. Exactly, which is memorable, man. I think he did just as good as Michaels with Michaels, and so that sort of just gives it the tip of the head for me.
Cool.
How many stars do you want to give this one?
2.
I'm going to give it a 2.5. I thought it was a good pay-per-view to go back and watch.
Okay.
Especially with that match. Go and watch that match if you're interested in seeing JJ do something good.
Also, like I say, the dynamic between, like I say, the Roadie has points in this as a performer that I would recommend. That I would say
the 1, 2, 3 kid match was good.
The 1, 2, 3 kid match was good.
Yeah.
His work, post match. With the arguing with JJ and stuff.
Yeah.
I think he's a third. I think he's a third, and then the 1, 2, 3 kid after
probably,
that.
I'll probably put 1, 2, 3 kid and then Roadie. But yeah.
Cool. So thanks for watching. Appreciate it. We always appreciate your time, however much time you have to spend with us.
Yeah, man.
I've been Dom. That's Anthony. We will be seeing you soon for a very, very poignant and historical King of the Ring episode. And
what?
There's loads of good stuff coming up.
Oh, right, yeah. Oh, you're on about 12 weeks' time.
There's loads of good stuff coming up.
But yeah, subscribe for that 12 weeks' time. That's exciting, man.
Build.
Yeah, I know, man. It's a slow build.
Excitement.
It's a slow build. I like it.
We can't be like you. We can't be like, oh, yeah, it's going to be...
Join us in 2019 for our...
Join us in 2019 for the most exciting...
Join us in 2033 where we'll be reviewing the first ever women's pay-per-view, Evolution.
Oh, God. Oh, right,
Thank
everybody.
you very much for joining us. Keep it gay.